This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, hello, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter, and welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe Birthday Boy. And the birthday boy for today, February the 7th, is a professional hockey player who plays for the Tampa Bay Lightning, the only team in his NHL career. He was selected first overall by Tampa back in 2008. Can you imagine 15 years ago? He's won 2 Rocket Richard trophies for NHL's leading goal scorer, 2-time second-team All-Star, and has been to 7 All-Star games. He has scored the most goals and the most points by any player born in the 1990s. And he was the captain for Tampa's back-to-back titles in 2020 and 2021, and almost got a third straight Stanley Cup when Tampa lost to Colorado in the finals last year. He has a Macedonian Scottish heritage. He is very amazing. And even one person I saw at Open Space, the group for people with disabilities who hang out on Monday nights, which I don't attend anymore because it moved to another location that's far that I can't get to. Looked like it was pretty nice. He's 33 years old today. He is Steven Stamkos. Steven Stamkos played minor hockey with the North York Canadians and actually was teammates with PK Subban. He played in the famous 2003 Quebec International Pee Wee Hockey Tournament. Well, not the year, but the tournament itself. Markham. He was drafted by the OHL's Sarnia Sting. So he was picked first overall in the OHL draft, and he looked pretty impressive in all that for Sarnia. He would put up 92 points in his first year in junior, actually taking second for all rookie team behind Sam Gagner. He was named for the Scholastic Player of the Year for his academic efforts off the ice. In his second season, he would put up 105 points. And strangely was named to the OHL's second All-Star team, but went to the CHL first All-Star team, of all the major junior leagues. Quebec, Ontario, and Western, which was weird. And in 2008, everyone thought he was going to be the star, the number 1 pick, and all that. Tampa Bay had only won 31 games. They were the worst team in the NHL. And yes, they did win the draft lottery. So that meant that they survived and had the number 1 pick. Stamkos was in a fight with Drew Doughty, Zach Bogosian, and Nikita Filatov to be the number 1 pick. But Tampa's like, we need a good center and we need a good corner piece. I mean, Vincent Lecavalier was getting on in years. Brad Richards wasn't really there. So Tampa's like, screw it, let's take Stamkos. And he did. He signed a 3-year entry-level contract. And it looked good. The funny thing was, his first NHL game was not played in Tampa or in any other NHL arena. Confused? Well, you won't be. Because the NHL decided to go to Europe and play 2 regular season games in Prague, Czech Republic. The opener was the Rangers and Tampa at Prague. And he helped Tampa out. He played for Tampa in Prague, but they lost both games to the Rangers. He would score an assist in his first point in his 8th game against the Leafs. So anyway, he would score his first goal the next game in Buffalo against Brian Mela of the Sabres. Anyway, Stamkos actually recorded a hat trick, a natural hat trick. A natural hat trick is when you score your team's next 3 goals without the other team scoring. So anyway, it looked pretty good. He became the 2nd youngest player in NHL history to get a natural hat trick. Bobby Carpenter was younger than that in 1982 when he did it. Stamkos was criticized for his lack of production during the first half of the season. He was actually limited to less than 10 minutes of ice time. I mean, the guy freaking only played like 10 minutes, and his production when he played 10 minutes, most forwards played 20 to 25 minutes. He still put up a good clinic, 19 points in his final 20 games. So he scored 46 points, but his plus-minus sucked. However, Stamkos decided to train with Gary Roberts on strength and endurance. It worked out quite well. And Stamkos found his drive. He scored 10 goals in the first 11 games of the season. In fact, he looked like he could be huge. He ended up with 51 goals, tying Crosby for the most, and sharing the Rocket Richard Trophy as goal scoring leader. Can you imagine? Well, Stamkos became the third youngest player to hit 50 goals after Wayne Gretzky and Jimmy Carson, the Malcontent. Regardless, this was amazing. He put up 51 goals and 44 assists, with 95 points. Fifth place in the NHL. That's pretty good. Tampa just did not have good luck on the ice. Other than that, Stamkos scored 19 goals in his first 19 games, and people started thinking it was going to be 50 and 50. Unfortunately, that did not happen. He put up 45 goals in his career and all that. He did not win the goal scoring title, but he took second in the NHL scoring behind Corey Perry. Tampa made a shocking run. They were fifth in the Eastern Conference, and they shockingly got to the conference finals, losing Game 7 in Boston, 1-0. So anyway, it was close. He almost got the Stanley Cup. Stamkos became a restricted free agent and signed a 5-year deal with Tampa. So anyway, he would put up 50. He would put up 60 goals on the final day of the regular season, becoming the 20th player to do that, and the first since Ovi in 2008. And ironically, the last player to score 60 goals until Austin Matthews just this past season in 2022. He put up 60 goals, 37 assists for 97 points, second in the NHL behind Gino Malkin. Stamkos had great individual success, but the team, not so much. So anyway, Stamkos would have some injury-plagued season, in the from 2013 to 17. It was close to play in the 2014 Winter Olympics for Canada, but he was hurt, so unfortunately he couldn't do it. So anyway, Stamkos tried his best and all that. Tampa did get to the 2015 Stanley Cup Finals under his guidance, but lost to the Blackhawks in 6. Yeah. So anyway, Stamkos would continue to get things going. He would have phreatic outlet syndrome in 2016. It's a condition in which there's compression of nerves, arteries, or veins in the phreatic aperture, the back way from the lower neck to the armpit. It also was hitting Andrei Vasilevsky. Fortunately, though, he recovered from it after surgery a couple months later. In fact, he got signed to an 8-year deal by the Lightning for $8.5 million a year. Unfortunately, Stamkos' injuries would hurt. He had a torn lateral meniscus in his right knee, and he couldn't do anything. However, Stamkos started to pick up the pace by 2018, getting healthy and making not Jets fans, but Lightning fans like him and all that. Stamkos had to have surgery to repair core muscle on March 2nd, 2020, which meant he was out for 6 to 8 weeks from the procedure. Made him miss the regular season. Now, the good news for Stamkos, in a sense, was he didn't have to miss too much. Well, he did play in the Stanley Cup Finals. But the funny thing was, remember, this is the COVID time, and that, Stamkos was eligible to play for the 2020 Stanley Cup Finals, where Tampa got to. In Game 3 of the Finals, he scored on his first shot of the game. In fact, that was only the second time in history that a player skating in their first game in the playoffs, which was in the Stanley Cup Finals, scored a goal. Billy Taylor in 1940 was the other one. Stamkos could only muster 2 minutes 47 minutes of ice time during the finals, but still Tampa did win the Stanley Cup, so Stamkos technically got his name on the cup and helped them win the cup in 2021 and almost three-peated. Anyway, Stamkos this season, 2022-23, has hit the two major milestones: 500 goals and 1,000 points. He picked up point 1,000 December 1st, 2022, with an assist against the Philadelphia Flyers, becoming the first Tampa player to hit 1,000 points, not just like in a Tampa uniform, but to be fully in a Tampa uniform. The 14th player picked number one in the draft to score 1,000 points, and the 95th player overall. And then on January 18th, he scored against the Canucks to become the first player in Tampa history to hit 500 goals. Just the third active player after Crosby and Ovi, and the 47th player ever to do that. Even did it with a hat trick, becoming the 8th player to do so. I know Matt Sundin did for Flames versus Leafs versus Flames. Stamkos would marry his longtime girlfriend. No kids as of yet, I guess. But anyway, Sarnia would retire his number 91. Rightfully so. Stamkos was a great player and all that. He played for Canada at the Canada Cup, the World Cup in 2016 in Toronto. So anyway, Stamkos was the cover athlete for EA Sports NHL 12 and signed a multi-year deal with SportCheck. So from 2008 to 2022, not this season's stats. He scored 972 points in 922 games. Of course, now he's scored the 500 goal plateau and the 1,000 point plateau and the 500 assist plateau by proxy. In the playoffs, he scored 43 goals, 91 points in 117 games, including 2 trips to the Stanley Cup Finals. So yeah, he's been to the All-Star game in 2011, 12, 15, 16, 18, 19, 22. Two-time goal-scoring leader 2010-2012. EA Sports cover athlete 2012. Stanley Cup champion for 2 years, 2020 and 2021. He has the most career points and goals by a Tampa player. Well, why wouldn't he? But yeah, Steven Stamkos has been fantastic and all that. Despite him being kind of injury prone and all that, he's still Tampa royalty, and don't you forget it. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.